Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, is this really the life I want? Maybe you feel stuck, overwhelmed by circumstances, or weighed down by choices you wish you could change. Maybe yesterday's failures are still echoing in your mind, convincing you that tomorrow will be no different. I want to tell you something powerful: your past does not define you, and your circumstances are not your prison. The moment you decide to take control, to rebuild yourself from the inside out, everything changes. Rebuilding yourself is not about waiting for luck, for the perfect opportunity, or for someone else to come and fix your life. It's about looking at yourself honestly, taking responsibility, and asking the hard questions. Who do I want to be? What habits, thoughts, and routines will get me there? Am I willing to embrace the challenges that will come my way? Tonight, I want to take you on a journey of clarity, discipline, and courage. A journey where you will discover that rebuilding yourself is not only possible, but it is necessary. Because the person you become tomorrow depends entirely on the choices you make today. Before you can begin to rebuild yourself, you must first look inward and take an honest inventory of who you are. Self-awareness is not merely knowing your name, your age, or your job. It is the profound understanding of your inner world, your habits, your choices, your patterns of thought, and even the subtle motivations that drive your actions. Many people spend years, even decades, wandering through life, reacting to circumstances, and blaming external forces for their failures without ever taking the time to truly understand themselves. To rebuild yourself, to transform your life into something extraordinary, you must confront the reality of where you stand. You must see yourself clearly, not the image you want to project to the world, not the version you hope to become, but the unvarnished truth of who you are right now. Self-awareness starts with observation. It requires you to pause, to step outside the constant rush of daily life, and to examine your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. This is not easy because many of the habits and beliefs we carry are deeply ingrained, often operating beneath our conscious awareness. We all have patterns, some constructive, some destructive, that influence the decisions we make every day. These patterns might manifest as procrastination, fear of failure, self-doubt, or even a tendency to avoid responsibility. If you ignore them, they will continue to shape your life, often in ways that keep you stuck in a cycle of disappointment. But when you bring them to light, when you recognize the ways in which your thoughts and actions serve or hinder you, you gain the power to change them. Self-awareness also means understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Too often, people focus solely on what they lack, feeling discouraged by the gaps in their skills or character. While acknowledging areas for improvement is important, it is equally vital to recognize the assets you already possess. These strengths are the foundation upon which you will build. They are the tools that will help you overcome obstacles, develop resilience, and accelerate your growth. At the same time, confronting your weaknesses without judgment allows you to take deliberate steps to improve. It is not about self-criticism, but about honesty, about seeing yourself as you truly are, so you can decide intentionally what to keep, what to improve, and what to change entirely. Another critical aspect of self-awareness is understanding your emotional landscape. Emotions are signals. They tell you what matters to you, what motivates you, and where your boundaries lie. Learning to recognize your feelings, to understand their sources, and to manage your responses is crucial to rebuilding yourself. A person who is unaware of their emotional triggers may react impulsively, make poor decisions, or sabotage opportunities without even realizing it. On the other hand, someone who has cultivated self-awareness can navigate challenges with clarity, respond rather than react, and use their emotions as a compass rather than a cage. Self-awareness also involves examining the stories you tell yourself. Every individual carries a narrative about who they are, often shaped by past experiences, failures, or the expectations of others. Some of these stories inspire confidence, motivation, and growth, while others limit potential, reinforce fear, and hold you back. Becoming aware of these internal narratives allows you to question them. Are they true? Are they serving me? Do they define the person I want to become? By scrutinizing these stories, you begin to rewrite them, shifting from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. Ultimately, self-awareness is not a one-time exercise, but a lifelong practice. It demands courage because the truth is not always comfortable. You may uncover habits, beliefs, or attitudes that have been silently sabotaging your life. But facing these truths is liberating. It is the first step toward taking control of your destiny. Without self-awareness, any attempt at rebuilding yourself is like constructing a house on sand. You may put in the effort, but without understanding the foundation, the structure will never be stable. By cultivating self-awareness, you illuminate the path forward. You recognize the patterns that must be broken, the strengths that can be leveraged, and the opportunities for growth that have been overlooked. It allows you to approach your transformation with clarity and precision rather than uncertainty and frustration. In essence, self-awareness gives you the map to rebuild yourself intentionally. It gives you the insight to design a life that aligns with your true values, your authentic desires, and the person you aspire to become. Without it, rebuilding is impossible. With it, there are no limits to what you can achieve. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most powerful steps you can take in the journey to rebuild yourself. It is a principle that sounds simple, yet many people struggle to practice it fully because it demands honesty, courage, and unwavering ownership of every aspect of their existence. Responsibility is not about blame, guilt, or self-punishment. It is about recognizing that the choices you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you cultivate are entirely yours. When you embrace this truth, you gain control over your life because no one can change you unless you allow it, and no one can shape your future except through your own deliberate effort. To take responsibility, you must begin by acknowledging that where you are right now is largely the result of your past decisions. This can be uncomfortable because it means letting go of excuses, of blaming circumstances, luck, or other people for your failures and setbacks. Many individuals fall into the trap of thinking, if only this had happened differently, if only I had better opportunities, if only someone else had supported me, I would be successful. While external factors do influence your life, your response to those factors is ultimately what shapes your reality. One person may face the same challenges and emerge stronger, wiser, and more successful, while another may remain stuck in frustration and regret. The difference lies in responsibility, owning the outcome, regardless of who or what played a role in the events of your life. Taking responsibility also requires examining your habits and mindset. Every thought, every routine, every choice matters. Are you investing time and energy in activities that move you toward your goals, or are you letting distractions, fears, and laziness dictate your actions? Are you cultivating a mindset of growth and learning, or are you trapped in self-doubt and negativity? When you accept full responsibility, you stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. You stop looking for shortcuts or relying on luck and instead focus on what you can control: your effort, your discipline, your attitude, and your consistency. Another aspect of responsibility is accountability for mistakes and failures. Many people fear failure, but the truth is that mistakes are inevitable. Taking responsibility means facing your errors honestly, without deflecting blame, and using them as tools for growth. It means asking, what could I have done differently? What can I learn from this experience? Rather than, who is to blame for this? When you take ownership of your failures, you transform them into lessons, and every lesson brings you one step closer to rebuilding yourself. Conversely, avoiding responsibility allows failures to define you, to limit your confidence, and to erode your potential over time. Responsibility is also about the choices you make in relationships and interactions with others. How you treat people, the commitments you honor or break, and the way you communicate are reflections of your character. Owning these choices means not blaming others for conflicts, misunderstandings, or disappointments. It means recognizing your role in every situation and striving to respond with integrity, fairness, and intentionality. By doing so, you build trust, credibility, and a foundation of personal strength that supports your transformation. Furthermore, taking responsibility is a mindset, not just an action. It is a declaration to yourself that you are the architect of your life. You are not a victim of circumstance, and you are not powerless. When challenges arise, you do not succumb to despair or resentment. Instead, you analyze, adapt, and act. You understand that setbacks are temporary and that the outcomes you desire require effort, patience, and persistence. This mindset empowers you to reclaim control over your life, to stop feeling at the mercy of events, and to start creating the reality you want with clarity and purpose. To live fully responsible, you must also make commitments to yourself and keep them. Your goals, your values, your standards, these are your responsibility to uphold. It is easy to make promises, but much harder to consistently act in alignment with them, especially when it requires sacrifice, discipline, and facing discomfort. Taking full responsibility means that you do not compromise your principles for convenience or avoidance. You hold yourself accountable to the highest standard, knowing that your future depends on the choices you make today. Ultimately, embracing responsibility is liberating rather than burdensome. It removes the power of excuses and external blame from your life, placing it firmly in your own hands. You become empowered, proactive, and resilient because you understand that no matter what happens, you have the capacity to respond intentionally. Rebuilding yourself is impossible without responsibility, because without it, you are surrendering your life to chance, to circumstance, and to the influence of others. With it, you gain freedom. The freedom to shape your life, to create the person you aspire to be, and to take deliberate, consistent steps toward a future you control. To rebuild yourself, you must first know where you are going. Without a clear vision, your efforts are scattered, your energy is wasted, and your progress becomes uncertain. A vision is more than a vague desire or wish. It is a detailed mental image of the life you want to create, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to leave behind. It serves as a compass, guiding every decision, every action, and every habit. Without it, you drift aimlessly, reacting to circumstances rather than intentionally shaping your future. Developing a clear vision is the foundation of personal transformation because it gives your life direction, purpose, and meaning. A clear vision begins with reflection. You must ask yourself fundamental questions. Who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to live? What values, character traits, and accomplishments do I want to define me? This is not a superficial exercise. It requires deep thought and honesty. Many people never stop to answer these questions, which is why they find themselves following paths dictated by other people's expectations, societal pressures, or fleeting impulses. To rebuild yourself effectively, you need to step back from the noise of everyday life and consider what truly matters to you. Your vision should resonate with your authentic self, not with the persona others expect you to project. Clarity comes from specificity. A vision is powerful when it is concrete and detailed. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, define what success looks like for you. Financial independence, meaningful relationships, personal growth, and contributions to your community, for example. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, outline the habits and practices that will get you there: exercising consistently, eating nourishing foods, and prioritizing rest and mental well-being. The more precise your vision, the easier it is to align your daily choices and actions with it. Vague intentions are easily derailed, but a vivid, detailed vision becomes a magnet that attracts your focus and energy toward meaningful progress. Developing a clear vision also requires thinking beyond the present moment. Many people are trapped in short-term thinking, focused only on immediate satisfaction or urgent demands. While day-to-day responsibilities are unavoidable, true transformation requires long-term perspective. Your vision should reflect where you want to be in 5, 10, or even 20 years. It should consider the life you want to build, the skills you need to develop, and the habits that will sustain your growth over time. This long-term clarity allows you to make decisions today that serve tomorrow, turning small, consistent actions into monumental results over time. A vision is not static. It is a living guide that can evolve as you grow. As you rebuild yourself, you will learn more about your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and limitations. This self-discovery should inform and refine your vision, ensuring it remains aligned with who you truly are becoming. Flexibility within clarity is essential. Your vision provides direction, but it should not become a rigid cage that limits your potential or creativity. Instead, it should be a dynamic map that adjusts as you navigate challenges, opportunities, and new insights. Another critical aspect of developing a clear vision is emotional connection. A vision that inspires and motivates is not merely logical. It evokes strong emotions. It excites you, energizes you, and makes sacrifices feel worthwhile. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, this emotional attachment to your vision keeps you committed and resilient. People with compelling visions do not quit when obstacles appear. They endure, adapt, and persist because the vision is deeply meaningful. It acts as a psychological anchor, reminding you why you started and why every effort counts. Once your vision is established, it becomes a filter for decision-making. Every choice, habit, relationship, and opportunity should be evaluated against this vision. Does it move you closer to the person you want to become? Does it align with your long-term goals and values? If yes, pursue it with focus and energy. If not, let it go, because distractions and misaligned efforts are the fastest route to frustration and stagnation. A clear vision helps you say no to what does not serve you, enabling your time, energy, and resources to be invested where they matter most. A clear vision also drives discipline. Motivation alone is fleeting and unreliable, but when you have a strong vision, discipline becomes easier to maintain because you know the purpose behind every action. You begin to build systems, habits, and routines that consistently propel you toward your goals. Your vision transforms abstract aspirations into concrete plans, turning intention into action and action into results. In essence, a clear vision is the blueprint for your personal reconstruction. It transforms uncertainty into direction, confusion into focus, and dreams into actionable goals. Without it, rebuilding yourself is like attempting to construct a house without a plan. You may lay bricks, but the structure will lack coherence, stability, and beauty. With a clear vision, every step you take becomes intentional, every effort becomes meaningful, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to advance closer to the life and self you are determined to create. Rebuilding yourself requires more than desire, vision, or inspiration. It requires action. The most powerful way to transform your life is through the deliberate development of habits and routines that shape your character, influence your choices, and determine your results. Habits are the compound interest of personal growth. Small, consistent actions repeated over time produce extraordinary outcomes, while neglecting discipline allows chaos, procrastination, and mediocrity to define your life. To rebuild yourself, you must understand that transformation is not a single dramatic event. It is the accumulation of daily practices that reinforce the person you are becoming. The first step in building new habits is to recognize the habits that are currently running your life. Many of our actions are automatic, performed without conscious thought, yet they dictate the trajectory of our future. Some may be constructive, waking early, reading, exercising, or maintaining discipline in your work, while others may be destructive, such as overindulgence, avoidance, or negative self-talk. Before you can replace the old with the new, you must identify these patterns honestly and without judgment. Awareness allows you to take control of the routines that influence your outcomes rather than being controlled by them. Once you understand your current habits, the next step is to deliberately design new ones that align with your vision and goals. Transformation is intentional. It does not happen by chance. For example, if your goal is to become healthier, you must create routines that support that outcome. Planning meals, scheduling workouts, and prioritizing rest. If your aim is to grow intellectually, habits such as daily reading, journaling, and engaging in thoughtful discussions become essential. These routines serve as the scaffolding for your personal reconstruction, providing structure and consistency to your efforts. Consistency is the key to habit formation. Habits are built through repetition, not intensity. Many people fail in their efforts to change because they attempt dramatic, unsustainable actions that burn out quickly. Instead, start with small, achievable steps that you can maintain every day. A single hour of focused learning, a short morning workout, or a few minutes of reflection may seem minor in isolation, but repeated over weeks and months, they create powerful momentum. The key is not to rely solely on motivation, which fluctuates, but to create systems and routines that carry you forward even when enthusiasm wanes. Discipline and willpower are important, but they are finite resources. This is why habits are so powerful. They automate the behaviors that lead to success. When positive routines are embedded in your life, you reduce the need for constant decision, making and eliminate the friction that often prevents action. Over time, these habits become second nature, and your life begins to reflect the intentional choices you have consistently made. The person you aspire to become is not an abstract idea. It is the sum of the routines you follow each day. Building new habits also requires patience and resilience. Change rarely happens overnight. You will encounter setbacks, interruptions, and moments of doubt. Some days, you may fail to follow through. These moments are not reasons to abandon your efforts. They are opportunities to strengthen your commitment. Successful transformation is less about perfection and more about persistence. Every time you return to your routines after a lapse, you reinforce your resilience, your discipline, and your dedication to the person you are becoming. Another critical factor in habit building is alignment with your identity. Habits are easier to maintain when they reinforce who you want to be. Instead of thinking, I need to exercise to lose weight, adopt the mindset, I am the type of person who prioritizes my health and energy. When your habits are tied to your identity, they become expressions of your character rather than chores to endure. This mindset transforms routine actions into consistent statements of who you are and who you aspire to be. Environment also plays a crucial role in shaping habits. Your surroundings, the people you spend time with, and the tools you have at your disposal either support or hinder your routines. To rebuild yourself effectively, create an environment that encourages the behaviors you want to cultivate and removes obstacles to progress. Surround yourself with people who inspire growth, Design spaces that promote focus and eliminate temptations that lead to regression. A supportive environment reduces resistance and makes it easier to maintain momentum over time. Finally, habits must evolve with your growth. As you rebuild yourself, your goals, vision, and capabilities may shift. Your routines should be flexible enough to adapt to these changes while maintaining the underlying principles of consistency, alignment, and intentionality. The habits you build today lay the foundation for the person you will become tomorrow, and continuous refinement ensures that your routines remain relevant, effective, and empowering. In essence, building new habits and routines is the engine of personal transformation. Inspiration and vision may set the direction, but it is disciplined action, repeated consistently, that creates lasting change. Your daily habits are the building blocks of the life you desire, and by designing them thoughtfully, practicing them consistently, and refining them over time, you reconstruct not only your actions but your identity, your character, and ultimately your destiny. Rebuilding yourself is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing journey, and at the heart of that journey is continuous self-investment. Investing in yourself is the most valuable commitment you can make because the quality of your life is directly linked to the time, energy, and resources you dedicate to your growth. Many people underestimate this principle, thinking that external factors, luck, opportunities, or connections, are the primary drivers of success. In reality, the most successful and fulfilled individuals understand that the foundation of transformation begins with deliberate, consistent investment in their mind, body, and character. Investing in yourself begins with knowledge. Your mind is your most powerful asset, and the more you nurture it, the more effectively you can navigate life's challenges and seize opportunities. Reading books, attending courses, seeking mentors, and engaging in thoughtful discussions expand your understanding of the world and equip you with the tools to solve problems creatively. Knowledge alone is not enough, however. It must be applied consistently. By integrating what you learn into your daily life, you convert abstract ideas into practical skills, enhancing your capabilities and building confidence in your ability to take on new challenges. Continuous learning ensures that you remain adaptable in a rapidly changing world, prepared to face complexity with insight rather than fear. Physical well-being is another critical dimension of self-investment. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience life, pursue goals, and execute plans. Neglecting it weakens your ability to perform, think clearly, and maintain resilience under pressure. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, sufficient rest, and self-care practices are not indulgences. They are essential investments in your long-term performance and vitality. When you honor your body, you increase your energy, mental clarity, and capacity for sustained effort, making every other area of self-rebuilding more effective. The discipline you develop through physical care also strengthens your mental toughness, reinforcing habits of consistency and commitment. Emotional and psychological growth is equally important. Continuous investment in your emotional intelligence allows you to manage stress, respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and cultivate healthier relationships. Practices such as reflection, journaling, meditation, or therapy provide insight into your patterns of thought and behavior, helping you identify areas for improvement and reinforcing self-awareness. Emotional growth equips you with resilience, empathy, and perspective, enabling you to navigate setbacks and interpersonal challenges with grace. A person who invests in their emotional health approaches life with stability and clarity, making sound decisions even under pressure. Financial literacy and capability are another form of self-investment. Rebuilding yourself often involves creating opportunities and independence, and this requires understanding how to manage, grow, and allocate resources effectively. Learning about budgeting, investing, entrepreneurship, or wealth-building strategies empowers you to make decisions that align with your long-term vision rather than leaving you vulnerable to circumstance. Financial investment in yourself is not just about accumulating wealth. It is about creating the freedom and stability necessary to pursue personal growth and meaningful goals without unnecessary constraint. Equally important is the investment in your character and integrity. True transformation is measured not just by accomplishments, but by the quality of your relationships, reputation, and contributions to others. Developing values such as honesty, reliability, humility, and generosity strengthens your influence and ensures that the life you build is meaningful and respected. Character cannot be purchased. It is cultivated through daily choices, disciplined behavior, and a commitment to living in alignment with your principles. By continuously investing in your character, you create a foundation of trust, credibility, and inner strength that no external challenge can undermine. Continuous self-investment also involves seeking feedback and growth opportunities. Surrounding yourself with mentors, peers, and environments that challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable accelerates your development. The more open you are to learning from others, the faster you can identify blind spots, expand your capabilities, and refine your approach. Investing in yourself is not a passive act. It requires active pursuit of improvement, curiosity, and the courage to step beyond your comfort zone regularly. Finally, investing in yourself requires consistency and patience. Growth does not occur overnight. It accumulates incrementally, often in ways that are invisible until the results manifest over time. The choices you make each day, reading an hour, exercising, reflecting, seeking new experiences, and practicing discipline, compound to create extraordinary transformation. By committing to lifelong learning, self-care, skill development, and character growth, you ensure that your potential is continually expanding, and your rebuilt self remains capable, resilient, and prepared for any opportunity or challenge. Investing in yourself continuously is the ultimate act of responsibility and empowerment. It signals that you value your potential, respect your future, and are willing to put in the effort to become the person you aspire to be. Every moment dedicated to growth strengthens your foundation, enhances your capabilities, and multiplies your impact. By making self-investment a daily habit, you ensure that rebuilding yourself is not temporary or superficial, but a lasting transformation that evolves with every step of your journey. As we come to the close of this journey together, remember this: rebuilding yourself is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment. It begins with self-awareness, taking an honest look at who you are and where you stand. It grows through responsibility, accepting that your choices shape your destiny. It is guided by a clear vision, a vivid picture of the person you are determined to become. It is strengthened by new habits and consistent routines, by facing challenges with courage, and by learning from every failure along the way. And it thrives through continuous investment in yourself, your mind, your body, and your character. Every step you take, no matter how small, compounds over time. Every lesson learned from struggle, every habit built with discipline, and every moment spent growing moves you closer to the life you deserve. You have the power to reconstruct your story, to rise stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. So take this moment as your starting point. Commit to yourself, embrace the journey, and trust the process. I wish each of you the courage to begin, the perseverance to continue, and the wisdom to grow beyond your own expectations.